Did we start yet?
What is good, everybody? My name is Dylan, and this is the D&B Radio Show, and I am with Bader. Bader, what's up?
What's up, friend? How are you?
I'm good, and yes, we have officially started, and yes, I'm keeping it. So this is the D&B Radio Show where we talk about cards and card game accessories. We haven't done a past couple weeks streams because it's the holiday season, so we took a couple weeks off, and now we're back in the new year, fresh off of a few sets of locals. I'm going to talk about Pokemon because I got to play in my first. I can't say it's my first Pokemon locals, but my second Pokemon locals, and we had Yu-Gi-Oh! Locals this week, and I feel like it's the first Yu-Gi-Oh! Locals that either of us have been in for a little bit anyway.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 weeks for me.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a while. But you judged at least, right? I think on a Saturday.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, we'll get some Yu-Gi-Oh! Locals chat in, and then after we do that, we're going to play a quick chess game, as we usually do. After that, we might talk a little bit about some Yu-Gi-Oh! Product. I do have a little bit of Flesh and Blood stuff just to hit over, just a little bit. Nothing too crazy. And then after that, we'll talk about something from our handy dandy fishbowl. I got some topics in there, and I'm gonna pull one out, and we're gonna talk about it.
So, all right, I'm excited.
To kick things off, let's talk Pokemon, because that's not something that we've talked about a ton. Have you played any real like Pokemon games that you want to talk about in the past like month or so?
Not really, but I have seen like a Pokemon regional happened recently, I guess. And the deck that I'm playing, Raging Bolt, I saw was in the top 8. I'm pretty sure is what it was, which is kind of cool for me.
Always encouraging to see.
Especially considering it was considered like an off meta deck. Not something too many people were paying attention to.
Yeah, that's one thing I haven't like dug too deep into is the Pokemon meta. I didn't even show up with my own deck. I just showed up and borrowed a deck, so I literally have no clue.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad format right now. It's pretty diverse, but that's all Pokemon.
Well, to go into the one Pokemon locals that I participated in, I was playing the Conkeldurr deck. I think we talked about it a few weeks ago, or I say a few weeks ago, but a few podcasts ago. You had mentioned it to me, and I tried it. I like it a lot. So the big thing about the deck is there's no energies in it. So that for me is great because I like all of my cards doing things. And those cards do stuff.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So it's all about putting poison counters on things, and then your Pokemon can attack because they're poisoned, and then their attacks do big damage, and then you're just poisoning your opponent's stuff, so then they're just, all dying because they're taking a bunch of poison damage. However, that did come back and bite me in one of my rounds because they had a little bit of an out to it. So my first game, I was playing Charizard, and I used my poison counters to just kind of like keep them off of Zard for long enough, just so I can like I don't remember exactly which Pokemon it is. Yeah, because I mean, obviously I'm not gonna pay attention. I just read the card and I do it. But it like adds an additional 5 poison counters on each upkeep. So I was basically just like that, and then the Radiant
Sneasler.
Yeah.
Or Sneasel.
Yeah, so that gives it's a total of 80 extra, like it's a total of 80. So I think it's the Sneasel gives 20 poison counters, or sorry, 20 damage, and then the other Pokemon gives 50, so it's a total of 80. So you can like knock out Charmanders and like a whole bunch of just like basic Pokemon just with that combo alone. And then you get Conkeldurr all evolved, and then you poison him, and then you're hitting for 250, which is real good. On top of, poisoning your opponent's stuff and all that. So I won that one. Yeah, it's pretty sick. I won against the Charizard deck. I played. Oh goodness, it's escaping me what I played my second round. I don't even remember if I won or lost. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I genuinely don't even remember. But yeah, I mean, I had a great time. Like regardless, I know the last round I was playing against a Psychic deck, and they can move damage counters. So what they would do is once I poison them, they just give me all the poison counters. I'm like, oh well, I don't like that. I think I actually ended up still winning that just due to I think his game 3 hand wasn't very good, or he may have prized poorly. And I just kind of kept him off tempo, and that deck, the Conkeldurr deck, uses abilities a lot, and that Psychic deck had I think it's the key Pokemon, the Jingle Keys, that like is like, oh yeah, there are no abilities except for this Pokemon's ability. So that was pretty rough.
Yeah, that was the Gardevoir deck playing Klefki.
Klefki, yep, that's what it is. I see. I'm Gen 1er. I'm really bad about knowing Pokemon names. My fault, not the games. But yeah, no, I genuinely had a great time with that deck, and like I said, I like Pokemon still feels like it's very close, regardless of like what's going on in the game, because I feel like at any turn the whole tide could change, and you're just getting blown out of the water. Especially when they're playing floodgates that are like, hey, turn off your deck. So, but yeah.
Yeah, Jingle Keys, and I think there's another one that they play that's also a Psychic Pokemon, but yeah, it's that's why you got to play them boss's orders.
That, and then something Cologne. I was told that like turns off abilities or something like that. It's supposed to help.
Yeah, I can't think of the name, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's one of those. Once I actually sit down and build the Pokemon deck, I will know what I'm talking about. But I haven't got to the point where I'm putting cards in my TCG order yet. So we're real close though, because I'm not going to be at Pokemon for the next couple weeks, even though I don't think there's Pokemon this week. But after, like, just because I got D&D things, I'm doing that. After that, though, I'm going to be joining Pokemon locals every other week. So that, and then when
I'm excited to see.
Once we actually get those dastardly speed duel kids to give up the Saturdays, we can have Pokemon every week, right? But
Well, I got good news for you at least. I was pretty much given the okay for every week's Pokemon if we get a good enough crowd.
Oh, heck yeah. Well, if that's the case, I still probably won't, because I mean, I got D&D every other weekend, but I will keep that in mind in case, we choose to not do something, or if we get screwed up on some week, I'm not like super worried about, oh, we can't switch weekends because, we're only having Pokemon 1 week. I literally spent like 3 months that way, so
yeah,
that'll be cool. All right, well, now we got a little bit of Pokemon out of the way. Let's move on to some Yu-Gi-Oh. So I'll start for this Tuesday's Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh, because I actually I didn't play very many games. I went one win, which was the bye, and I dropped. So my first round I played against, oh gosh, who did I play against? I was a new player to locals. That's why I don't remember. But they were playing Goblin Bikers. And reading is really hard sometimes. And I kind of just let them do whatever they wanted. And they have a monster that says if the Goblin Biker would be destroyed by card effect, you can just detach a material instead. And I open Lightning Storm. I'm like, all right, blow up your monsters. And they're like, all right, cool, detach. I'm like, oh. So yeah, game 1 was bad. Game 2, it was a little bit closer because I just, I decided to go first. And then I just put in trap cards, and I'm like playing Banquet, and they're just, they struggled through that, and then I just OTK'd them. Game 3, I think they choose to go first, and that's kind of where like I'm playing trap cards, and I'm not really sure if my opponent's going to want me to go first or not, because I'm also playing a really good going second engine, so it's really tough. But they chose to go first, and they ended up taking that one. And then what's up? Day's going good. And then my second round, I played against Synchron or Synchron, Junk Synchro, whatever. So I win. No, I win game 1. And then midway through game 2, they're going first, and they're like, whoa, I'm missing a card from my extra deck. I can't find it. And they spent like probably a good 2 or 3 minutes before they left the table looking for it. And then they left the table for like 5 to 7 minutes. And I let them, because I'm like, I would much rather you just have your card, and then, whatever happens. I would much rather you just, have it. They spent probably 5-7 minutes running around looking for it. And then they come back. They're like, I can't find it. I'll just do a subpar combo. And then luckily the table next to us happened to actually have a copy in one of their binders, so he let them borrow it. Only to find out as time is being called, and he wins because he wins the time. And then as time is being called, that player was walking behind him, or sorry, the person that gave him I think it was a Jet Synchron, the Synchro 2. He gave him that card, and then as he's walking behind, he's fanning out his extra deck, and they go, hey, wait a minute, it's right there. It's just upside down. So he spent probably a good, I don't know, I don't want to say 9 minutes, because 9 minutes seems a little long, but it was at least 7 minutes looking for a card that was actually just sitting in their extra deck. So that was a little salty for me, and then I got the buy, so I'm like, I'm just going to drop. So that was my Tuesday. How was your Tuesday?
It was okay. Let's see. Round 1, I actually played against the guy who won our locals. He was on Malice. I was on White Forest Azamna with Fiendsmith in it this time.
Oh, the Malice players figured out what they were supposed to do? I was
what?
Yeah. I was kind of going back and listening the last podcast where I was just kind of ripping into Malice players for not knowing what they were supposed to be doing. And all right, well, they figured it out.
Yeah, nope. He shifted me, and it felt pretty bad, especially when I need to send stuff to the graveyard as cost. That was pretty much a quick 2-0. Oh no, actually it was 2-1. Game 2, I did this funny play. I sided in Artifact Lancia, and I just kept reviving from my graveyard. One of my White Forest monsters, and then which added an Elzep from grave to hand. And I drew Artifact Lancia, and I just had these 2 monsters in hand. I was like, I'm going to set a card in my spell trap zone. I'm going to activate Elzep, send Artifact Lancia as cost. And he just looked at me like, you can do that. That is legal. As opposed to activating this Lancia against him. And then I went full White Force combo and killed him. So that was exciting. But then he killed me game 3. Round 2, I don't remember who I played. But round 3, I think I played the Synchron player that you played.
I think you did.
Yeah, and it didn't seem like he fully understood his cards, so I was trying to be nice. I saw what he was going for, and I saw game 1 I had Ash Blossom in my hand, so I'm like, okay, I just stopped the Junk Speeder, the Synchro 5 that summons a bunch of Synchrons from the deck. He summoned it, activated the effect. I was like, Ash Blossom. He's like, oh, well, I'll pass. And then I OTK'd him. Game 2, I let him resolve Junk Synchron. I was like, all right, on resolution, I have a rock. I'm going to activate Nib and just wiped his field. And he's like, oh, well, I'll pass. And then I just proceeded to OTK him again. Round 4, I can't remember who I played. Oh, yeah, I do. I played the guy who made me... Yep, I played Brandon. I played the guy who made me sit out for like 2 weeks because I was so tilted of getting puppet locked and raw locked. And he bricked so bad both of our games, and I was so excited. I was like, suck it.
I specifically remember... I specifically remember in that game, you Ash Blossomed a Sheeran, and he's like, man... Why is Ash Blossom on Sheeran always so good?
I feel like if you're playing branded, like obviously I knew he was playing branded because every week. If your opening play is not like a Luber, whatever the quick play is, or just dropping branded fusion, and your first play is Sheeran, that's probably the best thing to Ash. Or Primeval Planet to search the Sheeran, but that's whatever. I'm not ashing Primeval Planet because maybe you're holding the branded fusion. So when he added Sheeran, I was like, hopes and dreams, let's go, Ash. And I got him. Felt good. So I went 3-1, only losing to the guy who got first, and still ended up getting 5th place.
And that's the way Yu-Gi-Oh! Is. You'll lose once, and then you get 7th.
To be fair, though, it was a pretty large locals. We had 2 undefeateds and 29 total players, so it was pretty good.
Yeah, 29, and then I dropped to make it 28, so. But that is what it is. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Kind of going off here as of recent. It must be a sign of a good format, I hope.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good right now. Once we ban Shifter, it'll be a little better. Ban Sanctifier, be a lot better.
Nah, those are fine. What is Sanctifier doing?
Ruining my day.
I don't think it's that bad. Don't let him get to it.
We'll see.
Actually,
how's Flesh and Blood though?
Flesh and Blood's sick, honestly. I'm gonna go back a few weeks because I actually didn't talk about. We've had a few alternate formats. I'm not gonna spend too much time just mulling over them, but a few weeks ago, I'm trying to think of the end of November. I think it was end of November. We had Living Legend format, and I played a wizard deck, which is probably the first time I've ever actually played that deck in paper. And it's a Yu-Gi-Oh deck, so it's if you're not super into you know exactly what you're doing, you're gonna be kind of struggling and you're gonna be reading a lot. And that's kind of how my night went. And I lost 2 of the 3 games, and then the third game, the opponent brought in basically a structure deck and didn't have key cards that you need to play against wizard. So I'm like, I saw it and I was like, hey, do you have this? He's like, no, I don't have anything on me. And I'm like, I'm sorry for what's about to happen then, because this is not going to feel good. And yeah, it was bad. It was like, my character starts at 30 health and then his started at 40. And I did I don't remember who started, but I feel like I did like 10 damage the first turn, and then probably 7 damage the second turn, and then I did 27 or 28 damage that third turn, and it was like, hey, I'm sorry, this is the way things are. This is just my character, but you don't have the thing that you're supposed to have to beat me, so, once you get those things, this is going to feel like a much better matchup.
Yeah.
But that was the end of November. I don't remember if I played a whole bunch. I think I played a few games of just throughout locals. I don't remember exactly details between them just because I was just casually just showing up, playing, and then going home. But the end of December, we had Shapeshifter format. So with Flesh and Blood, you have specific classes, and you can only play cards if you are in that class. So if you're an assassin, you can only play assassin cards. If you're a brute, you can only play brute cards. So this, what you can do is you get packs and you pick a hero and then some weapons, and you completely ignore class restriction, and then you just use things from your packs. So if you just open up a bunch of brute cards, you might as well, I would say, play a brute and then just like play all of the cards that you would want in your brute deck. And you can play like assassin cards in your brute deck, and you can play wizard cards in your brute deck. So the meta is to play the wizard cards because no one has the answers to them. Because obviously, unless you opened them in your packs, you're just not going to have them. So I didn't do that. I didn't open very many of the wizard spells. But what I did open is some stealth cards. And I just went to my tried and true. I went to the deck that I always play. I play Azuri, and I got to pick any weapon from a few different sets, and I just chose Harmonizing Kadachi, which is the ninja weapons that just say if you have a card with a 0 cost in your pitch zone, they gain go again, which just means you get to swing again. So each of those weapons swing for 1, and I specifically went back and I listened to, obviously not for this, but I was just listening to Flesh and Blood developers talk about the game, and they were talking about how the assassin daggers are supposed to be like the Kadachis, just more expensive, and they do a little bit more. But they were like, they made them differently. I'm like, all right, well, I want to see how that works. Let me just play the Kadachis and assassin. Real good. So you're consistently getting 2 damage out of your weapons off of usually 1 card, and then you're getting to swing a card. So, I mean, I thought it was really good, and I got 2 stealth cards, which interacted with Azuri really well. One of them being Isolate, which is kind of like the key card for that deck. So then I just played that, and then I played a bunch of Dominate cards, which means you can only block with 1 card from hand. So if I send a 6 Dominate attack, you're going to have to probably block with some armor, or you're going to take damage. So if you don't have armor, you're going to be taking damage. They're very, very unlikely that you're going to have a way to cover full Dominate damage outside of armor. So I played as much of that stuff as I could, and then obviously I played the 2 arcane spells that I had. And I won. We played 3 games. I won my first 2, basically with just the value of like, oh, I just pitched this blue card, which means I get 3 mana. I attack you with the Kadachi. I attack you with the Kadachi, and then I'm like, I'm gonna try to do something that interacts with the game, or I won't say interacts with, but disrupt the game. I'm just gonna try to like make it weird. I remember specifically in my first game, so I normally only play assassin cards, so I got to open up block cards. And these block cards you use to block from your hand, and then usually they just have like things that happen when you block. This one was like you get to clash, which means reveal the top card of your deck, and whoever wins, whoever has the strongest card gets a gold. I just opened 2 of those, so I'm like, well, I'm playing both of those because blocking's good. Well, I put it in my arsenal, which everybody gets an arsenal. You can use it if you meet the conditions, but it's kind of like a 5th card in your hand. And I assumed that I could use this block card from Arsenal, but you can't. So basically, I put a card in my arsenal that I cannot play, so I'm basically now just playing without an arsenal, which is not good in formats where A, you're supposed to have that arsenal, but B, you're trying to build 5-card hands and then, attack with a 5-card hand, so you get more value than you would be just attacking with a 4-card hand. Yeah, and I just screwed myself on it. However, because we're playing Shapeshifter and I get to play weird cards in my deck, I opened an Illusionist card that says both players put the card that's in their arsenal on the bottom of their deck, and then you create a Ponder token, which is like opting at the end of your turn. You actually get to draw a card, and then you can choose whether you get to put it in the arsenal or not. So I actually had a really like game ending. I would say miss arsenaling, like, or you blocking your arsenal is pretty much a game ending move. Like if you do that early, you will probably lose that game just because you're not getting enough value just with your 4-card hands. So not only did I find a way out of that problem, putting my opponent's arsenal on the bottom of their deck was actually good enough. I both times when I did it, my opponents were like, well, obviously the opponent was like, the first one was like, oh, well, you have a way to get rid of the card that's in your arsenal. Because he had the, I won't say pleasure, but he was the one that told me, hey, by the way, you can't actually block with that. So put that back in your arsenal. He was like, oh, you actually have a way out of your own problem. That's cool. And then when I did it to the second person, they were like, oh yeah, no. He had a really strong, like, I think it was like a red, like, dominate attack that he had arsenal, and it was like actually really good, and it was like just losing it because I happened to have a random card. He was like, yeah, that was really good. And then my third opponent, the person I lost to, just opened a ton of wizard spells and had a bunch of arcane, and there was really nothing I could do about it because it was just like, yeah, I don't have a way to block, 4 damage. I guess I just have to take it. And then like I'd send a card at him and he'd just full block it and then send more arcane at me. Yeah, so I lost that one. So I just went 2-1 during that shapeshifter format. So I thought it was cool. If your locals has not done shapeshifter or has not had a shapeshifter format, I definitely recommend it. So that is the couple flesh and blood locals I at least want to talk about. So I think
one of these days figure out the game.
Hey, I'll straight up buy some of those first strike decks and we can play them because like I don't want to bring in the 2 decks that I have because they're very different, and Kano's not at all a good deck to learn against because Kano's kind of the only deck doing what it's doing, and it's not a good deck to learn playing with or playing against unless you know for sure that you're going to be playing Kano. But yeah, I mean, shit, I'll just buy some of the decks and we can play it sometime. Because Flesh and Blood's fun.
Be down.
But I think now is about as good as time as any to move on to some chess.
All right.
So let's start up our handy dandy chess intro. Whoa. It's actually nothing too crazy, but I do actually have a chess intro.
No, I see it.
So in the meantime, I can send you boom and play. What? Because my internet connection. I think my internet connection's fine. Okay. Standard 5-minute game. Waiting on opponent. And then we can move over to. Boop. Awesome.
All right.
Classic E4, E5.
Oh.
Move the knight. I'll move my knight. Now what? Oh.
Where's he going? Where's he going?
What do I want? I want this.
I'm gonna keep pushing.
Okay. Where do I go? Do I rotate this way or do I rotate that way? Let's rotate this way.
Indeed.
That. Do I need to do Do I do that? Let's go here.
I'll go here.
Fair enough.
Just trying to win that night. Hmm. Let's do.
Now you're just pushing this side, huh? Do it really? I think I just want to move this guy. Oh my god.
No.
Here we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been a hot one actually since I've played chess. Holy cow. When was my last game? I'm so rusty.
Oh no.
Yep, there you go. And the game's over. Nice and easy.
Let's see the review.
Play at a 1250.
Yep. Let's see. Did I make any? Wow, this is my first. I guess it wasn't very many moves though. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 moves. Yeah, it's hard to like make too many blunders or misses on 13.
Okay. What are they saying for this though? Okay, well, yeah, obviously that, but like why is this the best move? Why this?
Let me see.
Next, what's the best? Show the moves.
So the best move was moving the bishop? Is that
Yeah.
what that's saying?
Yeah, it is. Okay. Yes, I understand. That was a blunder.
I'm not sure why the
Show
bishop
moves.
slide would be best.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, this is still like a pretty... this is a tough game to play, so because you've traded pieces now, but...
Yeah.
Okay, I understand. Because
No.
I was not thinking that far ahead. I'm losing pieces.
Well,
yeah, I legitimately just haven't played in a little bit. All right, moving on. It was a bad move to protect that knight because we're losing this knight. You're losing a queen this way. No way. And then allowed my opponent to play checkmate, and I lost. And
yeah,
that's a GG's. All right.
That was a lucky one for me. GG.
All right. Now moving back to not this guy. Whoop, and click off. Okay. And we're back. And with that, we're going to move on to new stuff. Has there been anything really announced for Yu-Gi-Oh! Product-wise, regional-wise, YCS-wise that you'd want to talk about?
Yeah, so in 2 weeks is Supreme Darkness being released. So there'll be new hero cards, new White Forest cards, which I'm personally excited for. The rarities were released for them. The new Molcharmy card, to no one's surprise, is a secret rare, apparently. I've heard ultra rare and I've heard secret rare. I'm pretty sure I saw a leak saying that was secret rare, though. That set won't have too much impact on the meta, I don't think. But there is a regional this weekend, which I'm kind of upset about, because that's before Supreme Darkness, clearly. And I was hoping to play the new White Forest stuff in it. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to go at this point. So
Yeah, I've been seeing it doesn't look like anybody has room, and I'm personally not going because I really don't care. But
yeah,
yeah, hopefully someone finds a little bit of room for you so you can go at least try to get your local or get your uh
invite.
yeah, get your invite.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it for Yu-Gi-Oh. Nothing too exciting. Pokemon though, I believe it's on the 17th next week. I believe that's when the new Pokemon Evolutions set comes out.
Okay. See,
Um,
yeah, next Friday.
let's see. I think I kind of want to search it, see if that's true, because that's going to have like a lot of evolution Pokemon. Um, yeah,
Oh,
it's just basically going to be a full art set, just stonks.
if you say Eevee, that sounds like a collector set to me, and if it has any sort of playability, that just means it's going to the roof.
Yeah, yep. It is January 17th. Prismatic Evolutions, and obviously Umbreon is going to be the most expensive card. Espeon, my boy or girl, whatever gender you get in Pokemon Coliseum, I can't remember. That's going to be up there too, and I love Espeon, and I really wanted an Espeon, but I don't want to spend $200 on it. But yeah, so that's going to be an exciting set. I don't know how impactful, if it will be, on the format though. But it's going to have some nice looking cards.
Well, that is what's up. It's always cool to at least see some collector stuff because I mean that's I feel who's driving the Pokemon market. Um,
Oh yeah.
always cool to see. So we talked Yu-Gi-Oh, we talked Pokemon. Unfortunately, I don't know anything about One Piece. Just kidding. I know a little bit about One Piece, but I don't know if about new product for them. I haven't done too much research on it. One thing I have is Flesh and Blood, and I've kind of been holding off for a few weeks on the Flesh and Blood stuff because we've been getting small little nuggets of spoilers, and I feel like I've gotten to a point now where I'm willing to talk about them, at least some of them. So we are getting. It's called the Hunted. So lore wise, Arachne is an assassin, and Arachne has killed the Emperor. At least, at least that's as the story goes. There's art on one of Arachne's cards where he's literally killing the Emperor, and all of the lore says as is he has killed the Emperor. So now the Hunted is the Emperor's two kids are now chasing Arachne. Uh, and Arachne, I would say in previous sets has not been at full power or full form because the way we see him in this set is crazy. Everything is just I don't even know how to explain. Just like everything is very different. Everything has got a lot going on. There's a lot to dissect in every single card. So if you're just kind of like, I don't know, if you feel like Flesh and Blood's kind of been a thing that you want to try, I think The Hunted, it's going to come out on the 31st. Now it's a great time to try. I think this is going to be a really fun set.
Okay, was Arachne the? You said he was an assassin, or was he like the ninja one?
He is the assassin.
Okay. Oh yeah, you said earlier it's a whole assassin set.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems pretty cool. I would definitely have to like shadow you at a locals or something to probably get the full appreciation of it, so I can see like what's going on.
Yeah. And say this is an assassin, warrior, and ninja set. So the main cards in the set are going to be assassin, ninja, and warrior. Usually that's how they try to do it. So then like a class is getting a bunch of cards all at one time, and usually they'll try to do the classes that are behind, I guess. I can't really say assassin's really behind, but there are some nuanced things that I'm not a big fan of, and I don't think that we have the card pool that some of the classes have. So it's nice to get more cards. And with that, we're getting more heroes. And I think we're getting 2 different adult Arachnes. And one of them is just a base hero where it says your first stealth attack gains go again, which again just means you get to attack again. And these stealth cards vary on what they do. They can do like random things like giving your opponent like a pox counter, or you just things of that sort, or stealth cards, the ones that they've printed recently, have stuff to do with taking cards out of your opponent's hand, like Persuasive Prognosis. It's a 1 damage card, and if it hits, you reveal the top card of your opponent's deck, you banish it, and then you get to banish a card from their hand that has the same color as the card you banished off the top of their deck. So, and it's pretty good. And there's 2 of the new stealth cards that do that. So I'm interested to see the stealth cards, because I don't think we've seen any of the stealth cards from this set. And I'm assuming that we're getting some, because obviously that's Assassin's main gimmick.
Yeah.
But one of the Arachnes is a very standalone, I do one thing. It's that give stealth go again. The other Arachne, it's has a base form where you start at the beginning of the game, and then as the game goes on, you mark your opponent with different cards that just say, do this, and if you do, your opponent is marked, and then they're marked until I think you hit them. Or like you do damage to them. So as long as they're marked, at the beginning of your end phase, if an opponent is marked, you become a random agent of chaos. So if you mark your opponent and then go to the end phase, you roll the dice, and then your hero becomes one of 6 different heroes. Now, randomness isn't normally considered good. I think personally, I want to play the standalone, just one hero Arachne from this set. Just because I'm not a big fan of the random chaosness of that this seems to provide. But if it's good and it doesn't matter which agent of chaos you turn into, like it's just going to be value no matter which one you hit, I might start leaning towards this one, because it seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. They do some very interesting things, mainly discard an assassin card. I think 4 of the 6 have the line of text, discard an assassin card, give an attack +3, whether it's a dagger or a card with stealth, or I think just an assassin attack. So they turn each card from your hand into 3 damage, and then usually whatever on hit the dagger or the stealth card has. So Twitch, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to do this for you, but YouTube, I'm going to put up the stealth cards as we're going over this, just because I don't want to read through a bunch of different cards. You guys can read them all, and if you're really super interested in Flesh and Blood, definitely get in, because this stuff looks cool. We're getting new daggers. Everybody's getting a new dagger. Well, I say everybody, but each of the 3 classes that they're showing off for this set. Some of them are going to be mainly direct to the hero that we're getting from the set too. Like I think it won't be the only hero that can use that weapon, but it's mainly for that hero, and it's not going to work very well in other heroes. We're getting, I think, 2 daggers that are gonna, I feel like, gonna be very specific for their heroes, and then we're getting like, I think 1, 2. They're showing at least 3 different daggers that are gonna be like any hero from the class are gonna be able to play that. So very cool stuff. Like again, I'm gonna show them all on YouTube. Just kind of a flash, so you can pause them and read them as we're going. Or you can maybe find a Flesh and Blood YouTuber that you enjoy and that's going to go over those cards maybe a little bit deeper. Maybe that is me. I'll do that later, maybe later. I'm working on finding ways to do more content, and that might be one of them, is just start doing new release stuff. So be on the lookout for that.
Hell yeah. You sound excited, and I'm very happy about that. I'm glad that there's something that's like you're just super pumped for.
And always looking to find different ways to make I make more for the people who are, coming out and telling me, hey, make more. Like, I literally got told that just this Tuesday is like, hey, could you make more content? And I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll make more content. I need to. Obviously, we haven't done the podcast for a few weeks, so he was A, looking for the podcast, and then B, I definitely want to do more for y'all, and this is just going to be another way to do that. It might not be specifically one game. I might enjoy, doing a Yu-Gi-Oh video, doing a Flesh and Blood video. Maybe I'd do some Pokemon. I might try to diversify what I'm doing, but be on the lookout for more, because I think 2025 we're going to be trying to do more.
That is a goal I can absolutely relate to. I wish I was able to do more myself. I want to, but I don't know. It's hard for me for some reason.
We'll figure it out. By the end of 2025, you and me, we're going to be making stuff. I'm not going to say what it is, but we're going to be doing stuff. It's more than what we're going to be doing today. I'll say that.
Hell yeah.
Well, and I think that's going to be a good holding spot for now. I think I've probably shown enough cards on screen for the YouTubers. Sorry, Twitch. We'll get them next time. So now we are going to move on to the fishbowl. So now, because again, we're always making doing little things to make it look better. Here we go. We got a fishbowl animation. Check this out.
Let's see it. Yeah.
Whoop. And we got the fishbowl. So we're just going to go do one of these. I'm going to, this every week I do this. I can't put it on top of my head because it's too tall and I can't get my hand in this way. So I'm just gonna do a solid look this way. I can't see anything. There's nothing over there. Hopefully I'm not knocking over the plant. And we got a piece of paper. All right, fishbowl over there. And our topic for today: what is your perspective on coin flipping? So I pulled it out. Contextually, Pokemon, they specifically have cards that say flip a coin, do this. And this can be flipping coins to see who goes first. This could be flipping coins for, doing X card effect in comparison to using a dice and then going odds or evens or something of the sort, high, low, something like that. So what's your perspective? Would you much rather people use dice? Would you much rather people flip a coin? What do you think?
For me, it depends on the game. Yu-Gi-Oh! We have quite a few cards, actually. I don't know if you knew this. Quite a few. I'm talking like a couple hundred that actually say flip a coin, if so, do X interaction. And funny enough, more cards with that effect are being printed either in this upcoming Yu-Gi-Oh! Set or the next one, which is hilarious to me. So for something like Yu-Gi-Oh!, depending on the card, I'd say like it's fine. If it's for like deciding who's going first or second, I'd rather roll dice because it's not just a flat 50-50. You got a couple other numbers in there. Pokemon, on the other hand, I know that's something in the Pokemon community. I like coin flips. I'm not saying it's like the best for the game, but I think that the whole mechanic is flip a coin, do X. And I think coin flips should be, if not, what am I trying to say? If they're not like disruptive, I guess, they should be fine. Obviously, you got people who can be obnoxious with it, flipping it all the way to the ceiling, crashing 3 tables down. But that's not going to be everybody. Like, I get people would rather roll dice sometimes, and that's reasonable. But if there's, you know, well-behaved players, flipping a coin's not a big issue to me. A bunch of attacks and abilities say flip a coin, do X. Like, I get people roll a die, say evens or heads, odds or tails. Just let them have a little fun, man. Flip a coin. Personally.
So my take is, if the card says flip a coin, you better be flipping a coin. I don't want to see no dice rolling. The card says flip a coin. Do as the card reads.
And I agree with that. Until you get to the people who, like, and this is not every player, and this is, I would say, is not the majority of players. There are a couple. Until you get to that, every player has to freaking flip their coin to Timbuktu.
It has to rotate 3 times, and it has to go above your shoulder.
That's just not the majority. Let the players flip their coins, man.
All I'm going to say is professional sports, flip a coin. So they get paid millions, and that is multi-billion-dollar companies flipping coins to see who goes first. So if they can do it, I feel like a Pokemon game or a Yu-Gi-Oh card, if it says flip a coin, I think you should be flipping coins. That's me personally, but I'm probably in the minority of people just want to roll dice, and that's, because I don't want to have a coin. I don't want to have a heavy coin, bounce off one of my cards or something. I mean,
yeah. If both players can agree to a die roll, I can say that's fair. But for pressuring someone, saying nope, we're only rolling a die, I don't know about that one, Chief.
I mean, all I'm going to say is I can call a judge, and the card says to flip a coin, so I'm going to try to flip a coin. And if my opponent's trying to stop me, then he's slow playing.
Yeah. No, yeah.
That's my take personally. But obviously, again, I'm in the minority. I'm sure. But that is, I mean, I think we probably hit that one hard enough. There's probably not much more to say on that. So
I do have one more thing to say, actually.
Oh yeah, hit me with it.
If you've ever bought an ETB, do you know what comes in those ETBs?
Small dice.
Coins.
True.
There is a coin in every single ETB.
And those coins are not heavy at all.
No, they're a little flimsy plastic guy.
Mm-hmm. I have multiples of them. I mean, not for flipping coins specifically, but they make nice counters on random things too.
Yeah.
Well, I think if that was all you had on flipping coins, I think we're going to move on to closing out the show tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have anything else for the coins.
Oh man, we could sit here and rant a little bit more on flipping coins, but I think this is going to be it. All right. Well, in the end of this, what I'm going to say is support your locals. This is where you don't get slow played. Locals is going to be, where you're meeting all your friends. It's where you're flipping the coins. It's where you're playing games. It's where you're meeting new people. Support your locals. Because in the end, if you take care of them, they're going to end up taking care of you. I mean, because if you don't, you're going to go somewhere else, and they're going to be this one struggling. So if you're showing up, support them.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
they're the goats.
And like our actual locals, I don't know. I've nothing but nice things to say because they've only done great things for me personally. So,
and from the sounds of it, they'll continue to do great things.
Even under no ownership, I guess.
Which is exciting.
And it is exciting because maybe we see some positive changes. Maybe not specifically things that were wrong before, but things that are going to be more up to date. Yeah, up to date is specifically the one I'm thinking of. Hopefully we start seeing maybe a online presence from them. So we can support them even more.
put that what is it called? Put that TCG player link in the description.
Yeah, that'd be sick. If I had, if our locals had a TCG player link and I was able to like, you know, post it, absolutely I would. But yeah, support your locals. And on top of that, don't get slow played. Flip
Gosh, I
coins.
can't think of these ones. Yeah, flip coins.
If the card says flip a coin, flip a coin. What else we got? Yeah, don't get. I said don't get slow played. Don't use heavy dice because that one's bad. Did we? I know we've had other topics, but I can't think of them off the top of my head. See, this is exactly where I wanted to be with this.
Overall, just be a nice person. Generally,
be good people. Support your locals, or I'm coming for you.
This is a promise.
All right, this is where we're hanging it up. All right, everybody, have a good night. Bye.
Goodbye, everybody. Take care. D&B Radio Show.